All right. Welcome to episode 2 of the warm-up, everybody. Started today off with a good old-fashioned, not a panic attack, but it's an old fear, something I don't think we feel that much in this day and age, which is I lost something, which is the camera I'm looking at right now, because it's a GoPro, and it's 2 inches big, and I misplaced it. And that's... when you lose something and you're frantically searching for it, that's a fight or flight fear. And it's so dumb because it's like a thing. You're like, where's my thing? But you just start making like irrational thoughts after a little bit. Again, it's not like a kid or anything like that, but the fear of losing something is so powerful. Inside of like 20 minutes of like, where's my thing? I started praying to God again and like St. Vincent, like, please just help me find this thing I lost. And then you find it, you go, oh, ooh, it's the most relieving, dumb human shit ever. Anyways, welcome to the warm-up, everybody. This is where I'm overly caffeinated on my way to the gymnasium. Because that's what I do. That's my morning routine as a semi-pro stand-up comic. And we're going for it. And today, I guess a lot of people are like, Lou, how are you so jacked? Nobody ever says that. But I'm gonna work on chest and then my flexibility because I snapped my patellar tendon last year doing jiu-jitsu on account of I didn't stretch. So learn from me, kids. Start stretching now. So there it is. Oh, man. I'm still riled up. That I don't need to warm up today. I was like fucking squirreling around looking for this camera, and there it is. So, anyways, all right. Let's see what's on the docket today. I'm still saying this is probably, again, I don't know if what I'm doing is illegal, but I'm currently driving with 3 fingers, which, again, just feels wrong, I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'll look at the camera. This is ridiculous. But I guess it's not that, it's like not as crazy. I remember when I was a kid, like hanging out with dad, you go hang out with dad, you go on a road trip with dad. There'd be times, this is like before cruise control or any of that, he'd just be driving with his knees, because he'd be like, fuck, my dad's a big dude. So like he could just hold the steering wheel with his knees, and then he'd just be doing other shit like while he was driving. And I remember as a kid being like, that doesn't seem right. He's like, nah, it's cool. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar can palm a basketball and I can drive with my knees. I'm like, all right. And what sucks now is I can't do it. I'm like, god damn it. And it's probably because I have the car's got a little bit bigger and I'm not as large as my dad, but still, I'm like, when I grow up, I'm going to be like you, Dad. He's like, oh, yeah, you're going to be a doctor? I'm like, no, I want to drive a car with my knees. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm doing bits at you. But like I said, that's kind of the podcast, right? It's just me consuming between 200 and 400 milligrams of caffeine, which at this point, I should probably do just like, I don't know, maybe get into nicotine, if not cocaine. And there's levels to fitness, and I think whatever level I'm at where you're just abusing the shit out of over-the-counter uppers to get through a workout, that's not fitness, right? That's not like when a health guru is like, oh, I'm eating kale and lifting shit. Like, that's actual fitness. Actual fitness is lame as fuck, dude. They don't look that great, because you got to have a certain amount of body fat to be healthy, and they're like flexible, so that's good. But then they eat boring shit, and their workouts look dumb and boring. And I get it. If you're like a jacked Hawaiian dude who just can fucking like, there's a few fit people out there that do it right and look good, but most of them, nah, kids, you gotta do the. You gotta do the drugs. Which, this is something, humble brag coming at you. I've been approached a couple times in my life about steroid usage. And what's crazy is I've actually never done them, and I guess the internet's just gonna be like, yeah, okay, sure. But if you look at me now, you'd be like, yeah, he's never done them. But I used to be kind of a tubby lifter, like a fat kid who then started to lift but kept eating like a fat kid. So then I just kind of turned into like a bastardized power lifter. I was never like a power lifter strong, but I was like, people call me big guy. You get the nickname like Hoss or big guy because like you're kind of tubby, but there's a shit ton of muscle under it as well. So like at my heaviest, I think it was like 250, and then my knees started to hurt, which should have taken that as a sign to start stretching years ago. But I was like, all right, like every pound of body fat you lose is 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. I was like, all right, I should probably do that. I was 25 when I was doing this, right? Big old weight loss journey at 25. I'm 31 years young now. Excuse me. Hey, no, it's always fun. I still see people. This is the second day of the podcast. People rolling up next to me looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, what are you doing? You got Blue Lives Matter sticker on your car. What are you doing? Right? One of us is crazy. The other one's just having fun with a microphone. I'm sorry. Sue me, cops or people who like. I have friends who are cops that aren't big on the Blue Lives Matter thing, but that's a different podcast. Anyways, so I was losing the weight, right? And it's awesome because when you're in a weight loss journey, it's pretty great. But eventually, once you break through a plateau and you just start losing weight, it's tough to like stop because you just get used to working out and not eating enough. And so I kind of overdid it and got too cut. Anyways, nobody gives a shit about that. If you want to learn how, maybe I'll tell you on another podcast tomorrow or whatever. But point being is like too many people have asked me about anabolic steroids, and not necessarily like if I do them, they just want them. They're like, hey, Luke, can you give me some? And I'm like, first of all, no. Secondly, like if you have a shitty body right now, steroids, like you don't do them first. Like take your body to the limit. If you cannot train to a point where you're maxing out your natural limits and you want to do steroids, you don't do it. You're just going to have a terrible, shitty body. Like, if you have a shitty body now and you're like, I'm just going to do steroids and that'll make me not have a shitty body, it's not. You're going to have a weird, like, if you lift a little bit on steroids, it's not going to look good. You have to be insane and lift like a fucking madman and also be on the steroids. That's how steroid dudes look like crazy jacked. Like, here's a good example, because he's getting raked right now, right? The Liver King. Everybody's talking about how he's a big fat phony, and he is. It's laughably bad. Like, anybody that's been to a gym for a couple of years that knows, a thing or two could tell you that the dude was on every kind of sauce. But the thing is, you still got to work out like a fucking madman to look like that, even when you're on the sauce. So my point being is, if you have a dog shit body right now, which, you might, and that's fine, just work on that and take it to the limit. Because I don't know. Like, I don't want to be mean to people's faces, but I will tell them to listen to this podcast. I'm like, yo, man, you can have an incredible, like, what you think you need to look like, edit around this. Like, you can do it without steroids, right? Like, take your body to the natural limit without roids, and I guarantee you're going to love the results so much, you'll be fine, right? And then if you're part of that select few percent that wants to get into bodybuilding, or unfortunately might have some kind of body dysmorphia, if you've taken it to the natural limit and you're a grown-ass adult and you want to do some steroids, sure. Do I know how to get them? Nah, not really, but I'll tell you this. Well, kinda. Go to your gym, fucking socialize. You will figure out who the dude is, and then that dude will get you steroids. It's as easy as that. Can I get them for you? No, but could I point out somebody who could probably get them for you? Sure. But guess what? Any gym outside of maybe like Planet Fitness probably doesn't have people on this. But actually, you know what? I've been to some Planet Fitnesses where there's dudes on roids, so it doesn't matter. If you want steroids, just hang out at a gym, Kind of like if you want a blowjob from a hooker, you know what part of town to go to, I think, right? If you're in Lansing, Michigan, I hear it's Kalamazoo Ave. But, all right, everybody. How's that for a caffeinated, stupid ramble? I don't know that I got a gut laugh today, but we're learning. That's the warm-up. Today's warm-up song, if you want to vibe out with me at the end of the pod, because we're about 3 minutes away from the gym, and this turn is where I'm going to, none of you care, but I'm at the point where I want to put on a song before I get to the gymnasium, finish my pre-workout. Today's song going to be White Room by Cream. On account of it's one of my dad's favorite tunes, driving with his knees, jamming out to Cream. And I've been watching Last of Us, and the soundtrack for that TV show kind of rips. And they brought up some Eric Clapton Cream in the most recent episode. I'm like, that's a good song. I'm going to listen to it again. So, anyways, thanks for listening, everybody. It's your favorite caffeinated, semi-pro comedy jackass. My name's Lou. If you know me, you can call me Lou. My stage name's Louis D. Michael because that's my full name. It's my middle initial. Whatever. I just use it because nobody has that on the platforms yet. So I'm scooping up my own name. You got to scoop your name. That's a fun soundbite. Scoop your name. All right, everybody. White Room by Cream. Let's jam. Go get a workout in. All right. I love you guys. Okay, bye.